Happy March, everybody. Welcome back to the Gym Range podcast. This is episode 23, the Jordan episode, I guess you could say. 23 is a good jersey number for college players. Anthony Davis, Pete Maravich, among others.
Stacked list.
Yeah, it's a stacked list. The Jordan episode, we're happy to be here. March is underway, fully underway.
It
We've
is,
already had some of the most insane endings to games that I've seen in some time. Chattanooga. Oh my word.
that was amazing.
That was
I was running around screaming.
Oh, I was so excited. That just made my whole day. And we're barely a week into March, so I can only expect more from the rest of the conference tournaments. Power conference tournaments are starting up soon. Before we get to that, though, something very significant happened within the last week. The Coach K retirement tour is officially off the rails. The North Carolina Tar Heels go into Cameron and shock the Blue Devils. The game wasn't even very close. It was like a double-digit victory. Coach K's last home game ends in defeat against his bitter rival with a first-year head coach to a bubble team, no less. So, Alex, as the resident ACC expert, and Blue Devil fan, you like Duke too. What are
Thank you for throwing that in there?
Right? What are your thoughts on the UNC Duke game that took place this past week?
Oh, geez. Very sad, very emotional. I will say, as emotional as I thought it was gonna be, I oddly enough was kind of what I think did it for me that kind of flipped the switch. It when they split screened Texas, Kansas, and Coach K walking up beforehand, I was like, this is too much. And I think I'm not going to deny, like, to a certain degree that Coach K probably didn't want that. Coach K did want this retirement tour. I think he did.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen like the drama unfold between the Duke assistant coaches and the UNC head coaching staff and the honors and the lack of being honored, which is a separate argument in of itself. Like, you shouldn't have been expected to be honored at UNC.
No.
Like, I get it. I get like what you think. Like, you've done some really nice stuff for UNC, especially in regards to Dean Smith.
Yeah.
But you and Roy were not as good friends as Coach K and Dean were. Mm-hmm. Setting all that aside, ESPN was beating a dead horse. So I think partially we need to talk about that, because every graphic, either leading up to a Duke game, in a Duke game, or a week before a Duke game, was Coach K curtain call.
Yeah. I mean, it's been this whole season.
That's a bit much. You can have the little honors. You don't have to show them before every game. Like,
yeah.
If you watch college basketball, you're well aware that it's Coach K's last season.
Right. Even if you don't, I feel like most people were probably aware just because of how much it's been talked to death, and
And that is taxing on players. And I think that played a role in Saturday. I'm not going to put the loss on that. UNC outplayed them. I won't say Hubert outcoached Coach K, because his starters went all 20 minutes in the second half, and that's when UNC won the game.
Mm-hmm.
UNC starters just outplayed Duke. Leaky Black took AJ Griffin out of the game.
Absolutely.
Paolo Banchero forced up probably the last 7 or 8 shots with 10 minutes left. He took 26 in the game.
Yeah.
The leadership we kind of look for from Wendell Moore wasn't there. RJ Davis killed Duke in the high pick and roll at Baycott. It was a polar opposite from the showing in Chapel Hill a month ago.
Right.
And I don't think Duke expected it to be easy, but I do think Duke expected it to be easier than what they got, which is naive.
Right.
However, in remaining positive,
yes,
learning. Experience.
Learning.
Shoulder, chip on your shoulder. Trying to think of adjectives, trying to, like, the SpongeBob meme.
Yeah. Imagine.
Yeah. So, yeah, magical. So they're going to go into this ACC tournament. They're the number 1 seed. this is the first time I can remember them being a number one seed in the ACC tournament. I was 8. I did watch the ACC tournament in 2010, but like you're 8 at the same time. So exciting time. We'll see. You can go read my ACC tournament preview. I do not have the Blue Devils advancing far.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Didn't mean to spoil that, but
Oh,
yes.
wow. That's sad.
Yeah. So, we'll see how this goes. Maybe I'm glad it's all over. Glad
Right.
it's
Until we see Coach K's actual last game. I don't know
which
that
will actually like I'm gonna cry when that happens. Like I knew there were more games after this one in Cameron. And while it hurts the amount of messages that I got from people that I did not message after Duke beat them in Chapel Hill, the amount of Carolina fans that I know that messaged me hurt. That really cut deep.
Yeah, I bet.
I had to drive around the state of Illinois for 2 hours. It was so sad.
Yeah. I mean, that and the transitive victory for Maryland fans was, I mean, so choice. Like we didn't even play the game and it feels like we won. So
no.
Yeah, it is. It's tough because like this is like the ultimate bragging rights game that will now be held over Duke fans forever.
I tweeted that. The only thing that could ever eclipse that game in the sense of the rivalry is if Duke beat UNC in the Final Four or the national championship. That's the only thing that could ever eclipse that.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Duke could, by the way, all you UNC fans that say the 1924 national title that was awarded by the Helms Foundation, which I would think is like the second most common name in the state of North Carolina, that doesn't count. You need to play in a tournament. That doesn't count. You have 6 national titles.
What are you talking about? That's a national title.
Stop. Stop. No. Anyway, Duke could win.
Hang the banner. 1924 national champion.
Duke could eclipse them in national titles, and it won't matter because all they have to say is, that's great. We beat you in Cameron on Coach K's last game.
Yeah.
What's worse is I saw this coming. And I know that's easy to say now, but I talked to my dad, and my dad goes, Duke will lose. This was in November. He was like, Duke will lose in Cameron. And then Duke didn't play well in Cameron all season. I was like, okay, well, this might happen.
Yeah.
So on the bright side, no more Cameron games, which I never thought I'd say as a Duke fan.
Yeah,
I mean, what a
that's
world
weird
to
say. In. Yeah. I mean, you mentioned how you thought the whole kind of Coach K media circus is taxing for players. I think at this point it's kind of taxing for K because
it is.
He definitely wanted some of this. Like he wanted some of the fanfare going into his last season. He definitely did. He's a little bit of a prideful guy, but like seeing him at the end of that game, like giving that kind of impromptu speech to the students, you could tell he's over it. Like he's so over it. He wanted to win that game more than he cared about like being recognized or whatever. At least that's what it seemed like. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's posturing, but hard.
No, I don't disagree. I do think that's true. You could tell by him just going up there, like telling the crowd to stop, like going like, this is unacceptable, and then like walking away from the mic before they went on with it.
Yeah.
I want to say 2 things that have me supremely worried and supremely disappointed if they are true. One, there's a rumor that Duke didn't really practice leading up to the UNC game because of media obligations for the coaching staff.
That's not good.
Okay, so that's a major concern if that's true. Secondly, Joey Baker tweeted out on his Instagram with a caption of like a Duke men's basketball photo of the Crazies. He goes, "Thanks for 4 amazing years, Crazies." Duke did not honor him as a senior on what would have been his senior night. If he he got 0 minutes too. If he transfers elsewhere, I mean, that is the most self-centered thing I've ever seen, whether or not Coach K made that decision.
Yeah, the senior night thing is so weird to me because it's as easy as put the seniors in, give them like 5 minutes at the beginning of the game, and then, things probably won't get out of hand before then, and then you throw the starters in, and it's like cool, and you did your thing. There wasn't even something at halftime, was there? That's what I saw.
No.
Was it
And
they didn't do
Duke
anything?
has historically never honored its grad transfers. So Theo John wasn't getting a senior night, which again, that's one of those things like I find kind of odd. Like I semi understand it, I semi don't. Like you're not, you know what I mean?
I guess,
Um,
yeah, like senior in the true sense of the word, but at the same time, it is your last season of
he's
collegiate
graduating from your program.
basketball.
It's his last
Right.
season.
Yeah.
You can plaque a jersey and thank him for
Right.
32 games.
It's very easy. It's very easy.
But Baker, like again, Baker, I the rumor CBS reported it. They were like, Joey Baker is expected to return. It's expected. He hasn't announced anything. He could totally transfer elsewhere. I would expect him to play more minutes next season as your go-to shooter on a team that'll be younger than this one.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
but I mean, if they didn't honor him and he transfers elsewhere, I don't have any words. Like I can't. There's nothing you can say that can like even remotely try, and like it's illogical to defend it.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, that's another frustration that kind of developed after the game ended.
Yeah. And
Um,
even like some people will look at that and say, like, the guy transfers in and he doesn't play, then like how much did he really contribute? And I just think that's not the best way to look at it, like just from a strict minutes per game standpoint. Because like in practices, there's the
Absolutely.
first team and then everyone else.
You got your subs and you've got your scout squad.
Yeah, like you've got like everybody has a
A
role to
role.
play. Like that's a cliche thing to say, but it's not. And
True.
even with like the Theo John thing, like he Duke at one point was like a top 5 team in the country. Like they've had by all measures a very successful year. So to say that like to not honor that and say like, hey, thank you for contributing to this successful season we've had.
And I'm sure he still gets something, and he'll be honored at the Duke banquet that they hold at the end of the year. But like
Yeah.
it's not the same as being televised before the game,
Mm-hmm.
or even just for the people indoors.
Yeah.
Like most schools do it. Duke, for whatever reason, doesn't. I think that historically, though, they haven't had a ton of grad transfers. It's
Mm-hmm.
not, and that's
True.
just new. Duke
Yeah.
doesn't really. Coach K has never gone in the portal and gotten a fifth-year guy typically. So,
Mm-hmm.
like again, but it's an easy thing to change. Anyway,
Yeah,
I feel like that's
you had a segment, a surprise segment that you wanted to do, and
yes.
I have no idea what this is for those of you who are listening or watching. So, hit me
I
with
hope
it.
this
What's your
hope this
surprise
goes
segment?
over better than I thought. Okay, so you're on TikTok.
Yeah.
The whole wheels versus doors debate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do that with college basketball players. And I'm just going to name college basketball players, and I need you to tell me whether they're a wheel or a door.
Okay.
Because but like in the broad like argument, there are more doors than wheels in the college basketball world. Anyway, at least in my opinion. But
You're a doors guy.
day.
You're a doors over wheels guy.
No. I'm a wheels guy, but in
Oh,
the world of college basketball, I'm a doors guy.
so you're saying wheels are more valuable than doors, is what you're saying?
No, like, isn't the
What do you?
argument about what there's more of?
Well, yeah, but like, what do you mean in the college basketball world? There's more doors.
In the college basketball world, there's more doors. There's more doors in college than like wheels. Like, yeah, you got the carts where you can grab the balls before the game, and maybe the hoops are on wheels.
Oh, you mean like literally there's more doors than wheels.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you were like saying like this player, like as a player archetype, like there's more doors than wheels, and I was very confused.
No. That is 100% the game we are playing.
Oh, gotcha.
But I was just saying, like,
fair enough.
If we are looking truthfully at the argument, there are more actual doors than actual wheels in college basketball.
I'd have to think about that, but anyway.
If you don't count the team buses.
Continue.
Okay. Anyway, the first one that popped up to my mind when I came up with this idea was Jaden Ivey. And I have an easy answer.
I mean, he's a revolving door on defense, so.
Got him.
Yeah.
He's a wheel.
No, that dude's a wheel. Dude's a straight up wheel.
He's a wheel. Thank you.
Yeah, he makes things go. He's a wheel.
He does.
Yeah,
he's a wheel.
Got wheels, bro.
Exactly. That's my point. Okay. Next up, Chet Holmgren.
Chet Holmgren is like one of those like giant doors to like a castle. Like that's what he is. He's a door.
He's a door.
I get door vibes from Chet Holmgren. Yeah.
I think he's a front wheel in a squatted truck that you find in the rural South.
That's very specific. I'm going to need you to explain.
Big, unicorn-esque,
Uh-huh.
because you don't need it on that truck.
Right.
But also, like, guys like him, you just don't find in basketball. Like, you see where I'm going with this?
Yeah, exactly. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Exactly. But he is a door in the paint. You can't, you got to go through him. You can't go over him. You can't go under him.
Right. Yeah.
But I think he's a wheel as a player.
Okay.
So versatile.
Okay, I got you.
Can do a lot of things.
I got you.
Love this game.
Okay, we're off to a good start. Anybody else?
Armando Bacot.
I mean, I'm kind of like figuring out on the fly like what it even means as a player to be like
same.
Or
yes.
I don't know. Do you have a thought on this?
He's a door. He's a door.
You have a better. I think
no. This is just a vibes thing. I don't know what to tell you. It's
okay.
just a vibes thing. You just got to vibe with it. Is he a door? Is he a wheel? What's the first one that comes in your mind? It's always your gut.
Right.
My gut says he's a door.
Okay.
The Chet Holmgren one, that was just way too specific. I was just rolling with that.
Okay, I can rock with that. Okay. Yeah.
How
many more?
I should have thought of more players.
No, that's it.
No, dude, this was a shower thought I had. This was a shower thought. I had 3 players when it came to mind. It's clearly needed to give this more thought. I can think of more players. Hold on. It's coming.
Yeah. Okay, just think of like 3 more.
Oscar Tshiebwe.
Tshiebwe to me is a wheel.
I agree.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. When I think Tshiebwe, I think high motor, and that gives me the like word association with wheel. So
yes,
going wheel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love it. And then who else should I go with?
I mean, can we think? Here's a question: can we think of a guard that's a door? Because yes. I think who's a guard that's a door to you?
Trent Frazier.
That's a pull.
You don't like it?
I mean, I can rock with that.
Okay. Here's my reasoning. It's similar to Chet. You can't really go around him defensively. You kind of have to go through him, and it's not going to like really work, right? Like he's a great defensive player. Offensively, I don't know where I'm going with this.
It's fine. Just keep going.
The vibes were door, and I don't know why. Okay. I will try to think of a better player while I keep talking and act like I know what I'm talking about, because this is the most unhinged conversation we have had on this podcast.
Yeah, it's
we may need to cut this.
We're gonna lose some people.
We are.
No, I'm just kidding.
You just need to skip from like 5 minutes.
No, it's fine. I think we keep it. We keep at least
part of it. You keep it?
Yeah.
All right.
All of it.
Oh, jeez. Come on, Alex. Think of things. Come on, brain.
KD Johnson is a door.
I love that.
Yeah. Wendell Green's a wheel. KD Johnson's a door.
Wendell Green is a revolving door of turnovers.
Yes.
And late game poor shot selection.
Yeah, KD Johnson to me is a door.
I like that. That was a yes. But like an automatic door. Like he always has energy.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't know why I thought about that.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
I don't.
He's an elevator door because he's always going like either up or spiraling downwards.
Love these metaphors.
Yeah.
This is great. I'm loving this.
I have some half-baked takes
Love it.
that I might need to talk through.
Let's do it.
There's one team, there's one specific team, and you can try to guess which team this is,
This is gonna be fun.
that I do not know what to make of them. At one point this year, it was LSU. That was the team I wasn't sure what to make of them.
Okay.
This time around, there's a team that analytically they're great. They're like very good. And eye test, I don't love what I see. And I'm trying to continue to say things that like won't totally give it away.
Can I ask a couple of questions?
You can ask a clarifying question.
Is this a team where you like the eye test earlier in the season and you don't like it anymore?
I don't know that I've ever loved the eye test with this team.
Oh, wow.
I don't think so. Well, at least I can't remember a time where I was like, yeah, like I really like what I'm seeing here. I actually, so there are parts. Here's what I'll say. This might help. I like the way their team is structurally in terms of like, I like how their starting lineup is constructed, and I like kind of the scheme that they are attempting to run, because it reminds me a lot of Baylor last year, just in a lesser way.
All right. This made it so much harder.
Shoot, that wasn't the goal.
Is it a Power Six?
It is it's a Power 16. Yeah.
That didn't help me in the slightest, actually. Okay. Now I'm on Ken Palm and I'm eliminating teams I know you like.
It's a Power 6 team, and they are absolutely going to be in the tournament.
Okay. I'm now going to eliminate teams in my mind that I know you like. You said they play similarly to Baylor?
At least, like, there are things to me about them that stand out as being very similar to how Baylor played last year.
Okay.
With regards to personnel, choice of like who plays with who, and
interesting,
kind of their style a little bit in certain ways.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. How many guesses do I get?
You get 2 guesses.
Okay. I'm gonna throw out one because it's more of a gauge.
Okay.
Tennessee.
That's exactly who it is.
Let's go.
You nailed it. Tennessee has, I like what they do in terms of strategy. Like Baylor last year had this like 3-guard lineup with Butler and Mitchell and Teague that was phenomenal. They were also a very good defensive team. Tennessee is doing something similar. Well, they'll have 3 guys who can handle the ball on the court at all times. They do a good job with that. They also play good defense. We've seen that. So my thing with them, though, is that the consistency of their offense scares me like a lot. And especially regarding, like, I think the perfect example of it is the game they had against Arkansas, where they get out to like a 19, 20-point lead at halftime, which like at that point, that should be a done deal. Like you should just, at that point, like you should win the game. You should not squander a 20-point lead in the second half. And they almost did that and lost because it was like the 2 different halves of basketball that were played were so drastic. Like, I don't know what changed at halftime for them to make their offense just suddenly not able to score. Mm-hmm. But that's kind of my like concern with them is like, I'm trying to figure out if they're legit or if I'm like overplaying. I don't know. Like, I don't know what to think. That's kind of.
I think I lean that they're legit.
Okay.
They are 4 spots away in Ken Palm from our barometer of what makes a national champion. They need to climb 4 spots in offensive efficiency, which I understand if that's your worry. But again, I like their guard play. They're so good defensively.
Hmm.
They don't have a look. They went undefeated at home. They went 16-0 at home. So again, similar to kind of like Auburn, you have some question marks about their play on the road. But they don't have a single bad loss. That's my thing with Tennessee. Like they
No,
lost
that's
to
fair.
Arkansas on the road, they lost to Texas on the road, LSU.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah,
Texas Tech on the road isn't bad. Villanova on a neutral court,
yeah.
like
No, you're right. That's true. I think
Kentucky on the road, LSU on the road. Like
some of it might be colored though too by Tennessee teams of years past that have seemed like they were going to be good and then were not
I
actually that
understand
good.
that. I get that fear. I
Yeah.
get it. You know.
Like even wasn't it last year's team with was it Keon Johnson and
Yeah.
yeah, like that team wasn't that good. Yeah.
Even what was it? 2019 weren't they number one overall at some point, or was that 2020? Not a number one seed,
A
but like
one? Oh,
no,
like
they were the number one team in the country at one point.
were they?
At some point,
Wait,
Tennessee was the number one team in the country in
I
like the
want to
last 4 years.
wait. I can verify that. Sports Reference keeps a record of that.
Let's go. I was literally going there.
Um,
Yeah, I
yeah,
think it was
in
2018-19.
2018-19,
Yep. Grant Williams, Admiral Schofield,
they were a 2 seed.
Jordan Bone. Yep.
They lost in the Sweet 16.
Yep.
Mm,
Yep. To Purdue. Yep. Yep. That was a great game. Because in
gotcha.
Purdue.
I don't know.
Because
Yeah, okay. That I don't know why I forgot about that. Who was on that Tennessee team?
Grant Williams, Admiral Schofield, Jordan
Yes.
Bone.
Yeah, that was a fun team. No,
It
that team I
was.
liked. I did like that team. Um, okay, yeah. So that was my half baked take.
Do you have any
Um,
more?
well, I do have kind of a respond to the haters thing because
Oh.
there was a commenter on TikTok back when I posted my 6 teams I don't trust. This is like a couple weeks ago.
Mhm.
And one of the teams was Iowa State. And so he asked me, like, he kept bringing up like quad one wins and how Iowa State has all these quad one wins. Um, and then was asking me how can a team with all these quad one wins like be a team that you don't trust? Like that seems like a team that could go on a run if they're like underseeded. I was like, yeah, well, I just don't really like I don't love their offense really. I think it's pretty one dimensional. Um, and so then after from that point on, for the next like 3 games, he waited. He waited until 3 games had happened. And then they averaged something like 71 points per game or whatever. And the reason I know that is because he came back to the comments to tell me, oh, you thought their offense wasn't good. They just averaged 71 points over the
I
last.
don't love you averaging 71 a game. That doesn't blow me away.
Well, I mean, it's respectable at the very least.
It is
He
respectable.
failed. However, the point of all this, he failed to return to the comment section when they scored 36 points against Oklahoma State at home, which kind of was exactly what I was talking about.
Did you add him?
I did. I could have, but
You should have.
I hey.
No, there's no taking the high road on
No,
college
I'm
basketball
gonna
TikTok.
listen. I'm gonna take the high road. I'm gonna take the high road because if he comes back to comment at me, then I'll just say, where were you when they scored 36 points against Oklahoma State and lost? And where were you the following game when they had a really rough first half against Baylor? Where were you? So that's the thing, though. The beautiful thing that I've found about March, which is a beautiful and unforgiving thing when it comes to TikTok, is that this is the best month to get takes wrong because, like, that's the whole point. Like,
Yes.
nobody's hit rate is 100% in March.
Oh,
The thing is, though, is when you put it in a public place to be consumed by a lot of people, some of who will disagree with you, they'll come back to dunk on you when it turns out that the team you thought could go on a run doesn't go on a run, or the team that you thought would lose early gets to the Elite Eight or whatever. But I'm hoping that the kind of like impermanence and like, you know, one and you're done nature of the month will make people a little forgiving. I mean, it's the first time doing this, so we'll see. But
I've learned people on Twitter and TikTok are not forgiving, but
yeah, well, that's okay.
It's all doesn't matter.
I'll forgive. It's okay.
Oh yeah. You just gotta forgive yourself. Forgive yourself.
Fair enough.
That's what matters.
What do you think about my take from my ACC preview that Virginia Tech could go on a run?
I agree. I had it too.
I mean, we both thought so at the preseason. So
We did.
We
so
are.
I had to feel. I have them. Please go read it. But I had them matching up with UNC in the semifinal.
Yeah.
I think. Listen, they're what 9-2 in their last 11. They finally seem to have figured it out.
They've won 9 of their last 11 games.
Yep. So they're 9-2. Oh, that's a tackle. Anyway, I mean, no, I mean they're so good defensively. Like you win games in March, especially in these conference tournaments, by playing defense and keeping it ugly, keeping it low scoring. Yeah. It's hard to go up and down the floor for 3+ consecutive days.
Yeah.
So Virginia Tech, that's never been their identity. They're gonna hold the ball, slower tempo. They're gonna look for threes. They're gonna go through Keve Aluma, still one of the best players in the ACC. Argument for first team All ACC. Buddy Boeheim was there. I don't know.
Yeah, it was a little sketchy, but it's fine.
It helped our preseason takes. It did. We went 3 or 5 on the selections.
Even if Keve replaced him, we still would have been 3.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. So anyway, but
yeah, I like teams that kind of have the identity early, and the reason I say that is because we have a team like Purdue that we have to evaluate, where it's like they brought back pretty much everybody from a team that was like a top 30 defense last year. And so we know that like this group is capable of playing some semblance of good defense. And it seems like they're just choosing not to. Like it seems like they're just waiting to flip the switch. But like, can they flip the switch? Like I like teams that we know have played actual defense for the majority of the season.
Yeah.
Like that's what appeals to me about like a Boise State or like a North Texas, as like sleepers, because it's like we know exactly what they can do because they've done it all year.
Well, that's why I still semi-trust Duke a little bit. Just knocked on wood. But like we've seen Duke play defense the majority of the season.
Yeah.
They didn't guard well against UNC. Like people are gonna, like, I know Seth Davis ironically graduated from Duke, but he's had them at like 14 in his poll that he does for The Athletic, which is fine. That's his opinion. Mm-hmm. But like, I don't know. I've seen it enough to where I'm like, they can lock in, and I would hope that in March, K gets them to lock in.
Yeah.
And K's a great defensive adjuster.
Mm-hmm.
Not offensively so much. That's been his kind of like one flaw his coaching career, but defensively, I think he can get them to lock in.
Yeah.
It's also why I trust Gonzaga. Like this, if they're gonna win it, this is the year.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And they could also very well just like.
I'm in the same spot. Do you have any, with kind of some of these mid-major conferences starting up, some of them already being done with their conference tournament, do you have any like big takeaways or any teams that you're like, oh, hold on, they're actually kind of good?
I would have said Northern Kentucky until they blew a 16-point lead and lost to Wright State in the Horizon League final.
Yeah.
The
Horizon League is like
so brilliantly chaotic.
It is the worst fun league in the country.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
So stressful. I always pick. Yeah, it was so crazy.
Yeah,
doesn't make sense. Like I don't. That's it. It just doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm. So at some point, this is actually kind of unrelated to my previous thing, but we'll get back to what I just said. We have to do season awards at some point.
We do.
But not just like your basic ones. Like we'll have some like random fun ones too.
Absolutely.
So anyway, that's
Be-
my thought. But
Best driver, Mark Few. No, that too.
well, we should do like best driver, like Jaden Ivey, runner up, Mark Few, like something like
I don't know. I think we should have a best driver category. We should have Mark Few, Jalen Wilson,
Coach
and
Case.
Coach K's grandson, Michael Savarino. Three best drivers in the country. I don't know what
That's
else to
pretty
tell you.
good. That's pretty good.
Thank you. This
Yeah,
is see
this
shower
is good.
thoughts.
I'm glad we've talked
Shower
about
thoughts with Alex. This is
this. Is
but
good.
exactly.
Um,
Mid majors though.
yeah,
Obviously Murray State.
yeah, they're good.
I'm appealed by Longwood how dominant they were.
Yes, they're also
I'm
very
oddly
good.
appealed by it.
Yeah, and they're probably going to be like a 15 seed. Um, but there's like certain things that they're just like very good at, like offensive rebounding rate. Like they're good
I
at like these
know.
like very like these little things that help you win. Um, and like I like their guard play, and so I don't know.
And so
Are
also
they this year's Oral Roberts? Who's to say?
I'm gonna check the score right now so I don't like make a gaff of this
Mhm.
because I don't want to say it and then like they not get the auto bid. But why ESPN please load?
Zags up 10 at half.
I do have that on right now. Bryant steamrolling Wagner was shocking today. Like the
I
rate at
think
which
so.
they did that. Okay,
Oh,
so I'm
are
gonna
you
say
looking
it
at South
now.
Dakota State?
I was.
Okay.
They're
I
up five at
figured.
halftime.
I figured because that's something I came into this wanting to talk about. I am terrified that South Dakota State will lose this game. I am terrified because I really like them, and North Dakota State can definitely beat them.
I am as well.
Yeah.
I love them. And if the committee, if they lose, please put them in. I
They
don't care.
won't. They won't.
I know they won't, but I want them to see the eye test and look at some of those metrics and be like, they can shoot the ball. This is brilliant for March Madness. This could totally end up on a highlight reel if they are a 15 seed. Put them in. Anyway, they can shoot the ball. They shoot at 45.1% from the field.
As a team.
As a team, they have 15 plus point scorers. They can they score them, but they don't play defense, which could be an issue. But they score the ball.
Yeah.
That's all I care about.
That's all you need, though, is like team like that gets hot. Like defense kind of goes out the window at that point.
Exactly. 102 points a game. Who cares?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's kind of and that's how I feel about Toledo. I'm like, they have like 4 guys averaging over 12 points a game. They score the ball in bunches. They have their forward JT Shoemate, like he led the conference in 3-point percentage. He shot 51% from 3 this year.
Jeez.
On like enough attempts to be on that. Like he shot a very solid number of attempts too. It's not like he was taking like
that's crazy
1.5 a game. So I hope they get in because like I'm previewing the MAC right now, and that's a 1-bid league. Whoever wins that conference is getting in, and there's probably like 4 or 5 teams that could realistically win. So,
and then of course to me you have your Murray State and you have North Texas, and that's who everyone's talking about, and rightfully so. Because I honestly, to a certain degree, probably don't care about the matchup. I'll probably be picking them regardless. But we'll see.
I respect that. Yeah, there's something to be said though for some of these teams that not many people are talking. Like I remember last year, everybody was talking about Winthrop. Everybody was talking about Winthrop, and like maybe a very significant percentage of people picked them over Villanova.
No.
Which like wasn't the move. It wasn't the move. So like
was not.
Yeah, you got to look at your matchups.
Don't bet against Villanova.
So far, all of your ACC pick. Oh, just kidding. Louisville won. They beat.
Yeah, Louisville won by 10.
Dang. Well,
Georgia Tech.
Oh, that's what the dude's comment meant. Some guy just commented at me, and it said 1 and 2 with a laughing emoji. And I was like, what is that? Like, I couldn't figure out what it meant. And now I realize it's because my first 3 picks of the ACC tournament, I went 1 and 2. So
yeah, Georgia Tech Georgia Tech they were up like 9-2 to start. And then DeVoe, Usher, and like somebody else came in. Truthfully, I was not watching. I was getting text from somebody because they didn't come in until the first media timeout because of like disciplinary things. And then Louisville got super hot and just blew the game wide open. Then Georgia Tech cut it to like 5. And then Jared West hit 2 threes and iced it. But 2-1, I will take that. Now just hope if I can break like 500. The issue is like I picked some volatile picks. So if the best team in the conference plays like the best team in the conference, my preview is not going to look too hot.
Yeah.
Tis going to be rough. I feel like there was something else we wanted to talk about. Bellarmine. Yes.
Yes.
Do you want to lead that way or do you want me to?
You go for it. Yeah.
We need to, I'll tell you, I'll tell the viewers, the listeners, whoever it is, people on TikTok, I don't know, that Carl and I talked about before having an episode where we just air our grievances with the NCAA. And this will make that list because in Bellarmine, who came up from D2 to D1, you have a 4-year transition period, and Bellarmine is in year 2. Yet they won the ASUN title. It is the ASUN, right? Right?
Wait, sorry. What?
No, I'm just gonna check now. You're good.
It was
Yeah, it's the ASUN. Yeah, we're good.
yeah, it's the ASUN.
I just want to make sure I have my conference right. So Bellarmine won't get in. Jacksonville State, who won the regular season, is going to get the auto bid because they were the regular season team, and because Jacksonville did not beat Bellarmine in the title game. Even though Jacksonville beat Jacksonville State in the semifinals, Jacksonville State is headed to the tournament. So feel bad for Bellarmine, even though they got a conference title in year 2 of making it D1, which is sick. You would expect that translates in the coming years. But again, even year 3 and year 4, I don't think they can make it if they win it. Congrats to Jacksonville State. Jacksonville, you got screwed. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they did. Well, honestly, Bellarmine got screwed. I'll say
No,
that.
they did.
Bellarmine got screwed.
They did.
Because like my thing with it is like making the jump to Division 1. I don't think people necessarily expect you to compete for conference titles
Right away, yeah.
right away.
And if you win it, you should be able to get it.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying is like that's the best argument for you being allowed to go to the NCAA tournament is that you won your conference like in your second year in Division 1. I don't know why that rule is in place. I'm sure there is like a good reason as far as like, I don't know. It's probably there's some like competitive or
I'm sure there is
or budgetary reason that they can't. But it is just kind of frustrating because like it's not like I don't expect Bellarmine to be an ASUN dynasty. That's not the kind of team I see like torching the ASUN for the next 5 years until they're tournament eligible. And that's probably still going to be just a 1-bid league. So, as a program, like you only get so many of those opportunities. And so to win in a year where you can't even get there. This is an unrelated, well, kind of related thing, but I kind of wish that the Big 12 had let Oklahoma State play in the conference tournament.
I agree.
Just to play spoiler. Like we know that they can't, like Bellarmine was able to play even though they couldn't get to the NCAA tournament. So I think like if that would have been fun to see like Oklahoma State
play spoiler to everybody.
Yeah, play spoiler to everybody. Knock somebody down a seed line or 2. Like, I don't know. Could have been fun, but
I agree.
You didn't get it.
It's good. It's a good idea. Oh wow. But I'm glad Bellarmine got the court storm and everything. That's awesome. They won it. Like I'm happy for them in that regard.
Oh yeah, I mean it goes in the record books. So
it will. It'll show up on the Wikipedia page.
It's a banner, probably. So
does Scott Davenport get consideration for the Louisville job?
feel like there's a lot of people that would get consideration before he would.
Well, yeah, I think it's Kenny Payne's job to lose, but
Maybe. I don't know.
maybe. I mean, he was
I mean,
he was assistant for 9 years there.
it seems like everybody's getting locked up these days. Like Steve Forbes just signed an extension. Rick Pitino said he's not leaving Iona. I'm waiting for like Ed Cooley to get some bag from Providence.
Mike Krzyzewski's available.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he's
yeah.
available.
He can
He's
come.
there.
He can coach Louisville. He's not coming to Maryland. I can tell you that.
Penny is about to get the most crazy extension when they make the tournament now.
Which is crazy because like that should be the bare minimum with all the talent that he's had, and it'll be the first time that he's ever done it.
Yes, he's going to get a massive extension.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to say like they have turned it around.
It's impressive.
It is impressive what they've done, and they swept Houston. Yeah, they've looked really good recently. They've looked like the team that people thought they would be to start the year, minus Amani Bates. Like, so that's promising. If they're in as like an 11 seed, I would feel comfortable picking them based on how they played.
Does Bates come back? I haven't been following Memphis.
I'm pretty sure he has not been playing. Like that's been part of the big narrative is like, oh look, they're playing better because he's gone.
Yes, we'll see. Who knows? Maybe I don't know.
I don't know. What do you think Bates is going to do after the season? Because I personally think he should transfer. I don't know what he will do, but I think that's what he should do.
I think the recent success means he might stay. I was leaning transfer a month ago.
Yeah.
I think G League's still on the table, like heavily on the table.
Yeah, G League's a good option. Seems like over.
And actually, I'm going to say this. I don't know if he can, because I don't know about the logistics of it. But if he could, I think overtime elite is an actual option.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think
that fits him.
No, I think that's a good option. Honestly,
I think
this will be the first. This will be the first year that they have like legitimate first round pick type guys. So like, it's on the rise.
The Thompson bros. I mean, I know that's later, but like Montero too.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's on the rise. Like it's at the very minimum, it's a legitimate path to get drafted in the first round. So, yeah, I do like the G League. Like the G League, I'm a pretty big fan of as a pathway though. Just because like we saw like two of those guys get drafted in the lottery, another guy get drafted right at the beginning of the second round, and then this year they're going to have like another 2 or 3, maybe 4 first round picks. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
So I don't know. I mean, maybe some of it will come down to money though. Like if he gets an NIL bag from Memphis or from like Oregon or something. Yeah, somewhere else. Like that's probably more because the G League only pays out like what, 500,000?
That sounds about right.
He could get more than that NIL for sure.
I think someone got $1 million maybe. Hold on. I was gonna try and pull something up. Because I think this might just be a possibility if they reached out.
Yeah, Bryant bodied Wagner. I just saw that.
Yeah. Memphis has not reached.
Wagner was missing one of their best players, though, weren't they?
Yeah. I was going to say Sky Clark decommitted from Kentucky. And I was trying to see if Memphis had called him. Because I think that would entice him to stay. Because then he gets point guard play.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point.
But they have not.
I'm glad that Bryant made it because they have Division I's leading scorer, and it's good to get those kinds of guys in the tournament.
It is
the mid-major, low-major stars. It's always.
I would have loved to see Antoine Davis play.
Yeah, that's a big disappointment. The Horizon League was chaotic, but not chaotic enough to get him in.
Detroit Mercy making the title game.
16 seed. That would have been a fun 16 seed.
Would have.
All right.
See them lose by like 22, but he has like 35.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Playing Gonzaga, yeah, that would have been fun.
Yeah.
Just Antoine Davis running up and down with Andrew Nemhard. Would have been fun.
Would have been fun.
Would have
Oh
been
well. Oh well. All right, I'm good to wrap it up. If
Sounds
you
good.
anything else, sweet. Thank you to everybody for watching. If you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. If you're on Spotify, hit the 5-star thing. Give us 5 stars. We're trying to get that rating up, so that'd be very helpful if you did that. Yeah, drop a like on YouTube if you're on there. Follow us on Twitter and on TikTok at Jim
Go,
Range Pod.
go beef with Carl on TikTok.
Yeah, it's the new cool thing to do these days is to beef with me on TikTok and then suddenly disappear when I end up being right about something. People only talk smack when you're wrong about things. That's what I've heard.
Correct.
So yeah, so go follow us on TikTok. We will have a bracket contest up soon because Selection Sunday's in 5 days. So I'm pumped. Alex, final words from you.
Duke UNC was painful. Have a good night.
Maybe they'll get a rematch. ACC.
No, don't want that.
Oh,
I mean, yes, but like, I want it if someone can guarantee me that Duke wins. Otherwise, I don't want anywhere near that game. I can't take the nerves again.
okay. Fair enough.
Thank you.
They could end up in the same region though, so we'll see.
Oh my gosh, if they played in the tournament, crazy.
That'd be
Crazier
wild.
things have happened.
Crazier things have happened.
UMBC beat Virginia.
Crazier things will have always happened as long as that is true. So
Very true.
okay. Anyway, see you guys.